According to the New York Times of 1992, this document asserts that the only possible course for the U.S. to pursue is complete world domination, and it adds that no other country has the right to aspire to the role of leadership, even as a regional power.
It's simply looked upon itself now as the supreme power in a unipolar world, and that they could do whatever they wanted to do.
But to do that, you'd need to create a case where you had to intervene against an enemy in Yugoslavia. Enter Joe Biden.
We face a blatant act of Serbian expansionism and aggression. This is no more a civil war than Germany and Austria and Czechoslovakia had civil wars in the 1930s. This, as then in my view, is fascist thuggery on the march.
He was calling Serbs horrific names at the same time that he had a very influential position on the Foreign Relations Committee of the Senate.
Biden was also emphasizing the importance of a new role for NATO, as seen in February of 1994 at the Senate hearing on the future of NATO.
Last month, while the Allies reassured themselves in Brussels that NATO remains at the bedrock of European security, crimes of a kind that were tried in Nuremberg a half a century ago continued unabated in Bosnia. Without a common enemy to unite us, we may find that our conceptions of what constitutes national interest may very well divide us.
He found the common enemy in the Serbian people, who were already previously demonized by U.S. public relation firms such as Reuter and Finn, hired by various separatist groups from Yugoslavia.
They not only demonized the Serbian leadership, they demonized the Serbian people.
The problem for the Serbs was that they were a little slow off the mark. They did not understand what was being done to them, and by the time they did, the whole Balkan region had collapsed into a state of conflict in which the Serbs were made out clearly from propaganda at the time to be the enemy of everybody else.
Thus, the U.S. quickly set out to act against the Serbs, stirring up a storm in Croatia. Operation Storm, that is.
So they came up with a plan where the Croatian army would launch an attack down into the Krajina and occupy the area that was manned by the Serbian minority that had been there for, 4 or 5 centuries. But it was declared that they were much too radical to permit to continue within the borders of Croatia.
If you want, we can talk here, we can go outside.
Mr. Clark, this is your group, your KLA, former fighters.
They really know how to flatter the Americans. Trouble is, the Albanians didn't know what they were getting themselves into. In 1998, the KLA was still classified by the U.S. State Department as a terrorist organization bankrolled by the proceeds from the heroin trade and by Osama bin Laden.
Ja sam Šitar, nisam prvoslav. Šitar sam, ali vanes, od Prvi svjetski rat i do danas nigde nisam živio bolje no u Kosovu i u Jugoslaviji. Država koja je najbogatna država u svijetu, vidi što radi na zlo u Jugoslaviji i narod Jugoslavskoj i Šiptarskoj. To je sve kriva od UČK-i, od Ameriku, od NATO.
Ali oni tvrde kako pomažu Albancima, sprečavaju humanitarnu katastrofu.
Bomba ne pomaže nikom. Nikome ne pomaže bomba.
I consider that the intervention of the West in 1999 against Serbia was made possible by the geostrategic interest that the Western countries might have had, and especially the United States of America.
This had nothing to do with the Albanians or the Americans caring about them.
Da li NATO piloti mogu iz vazduha da razlikuju traktor od tenkova vojske Jugoslavije? Mi se nalazimo na mestu, naravno 10 dana posle poznatog već pokolja koje je NATO izveo gađajući civilnu kolonu izbeglica Šiptara sa Kosmeta.
That's right, NATO killed Albanian civilians too. Lots of them.